Hey guys! I thought I'd show you a late season summer tour of my veggie garden and kind of what some tasks are that I am working on for the late part of August and early part of September. This is kind of a critical time as we are kind of getting to the end of the growing season here in Minnesota. So I'll just show you what I have going on. So here's what the garden looks like right now, you guys. This is late summer, early fall, really leaning heavy on the early fall vibes right now here in Minnesota. So as you can see, it kind of is a little bit wild. As the season, gets late, I tend to get kind of lax with the weeding, but I did harvest some crops today and I put some new crops in, so I'll show you what the state of the garden is. We'll kind of explore some of the individual crops and see what's going on in here. We'll start with the okra. Ay, whoa, sorry. Hit the camera with an okra leaf. So, I don't know if you guys have ever seen an okra flower before, but I think they are gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. The ants love them, unfortunately, though. This damage on the leaves is not from ants. It is from Japanese beetles. We have them pretty badly up here, and they are all over this plant a lot. So it hasn't really prohibited the harvest of the fruit, though, of the seed pods. I'm going to pick that one. I'm going to pick this one, too, I think. Just because it seems to be doing okay. It's producing. It was late. This is my only okra seedling that came up for me, and this is what it's turned into. This is my Poblano Pepper. It is about waist height. I am not leaning over. This thing is tall, and it's producing pretty well. This is another one that got a late start. All of my peppers kind of suffered this season, except for the Poblano. It's late, but it's producing really good size. See, look at this. Really good size peppers. I'm gonna make something with Poblanos tonight, I think. They're just kind of all over. Some of these are a little bit small, but I think I'm gonna count this one as a win. This is my first time growing Poblanos, and I'm really happy with how this is done so far. So here is my Ichiban eggplant, which hasn't been a very good producer this year, unfortunately. The Japanese beetles love this thing too, as you can see, these lacy leaves. But I am getting fruit on it. It's just kind of few and far between. So I'm going to just kind of take what I can get with this one this year, unfortunately. But it's been producing a little bit. Ugh, look at all these weeds. Yeah, I got to get in here and weed this side of the garden. And then I have the zucchini right here, which is a beast. And I think we have a lot of blossoms. I think we have a few fruit forming. I'm gonna try and get in here. It's just a tangled mess in there. But doing okay. Fighter jets or something. Man. Well, here are the cabbages. They are kind of late. Again, I planted them as a cool weather crop. I planted them next to the tomatoes. I heard that's a good thing to do to kind of avoid cabbage worm. I don't know. I've never grown cabbage. So we'll see how these do. Some of these are a little bit stronger looking, some of these seedlings, than others. I planted these from seed. So we'll see. There's the tomatoes being crazy. Lot of late production from this too. Just a really good crop now. Really late to start though. Look at these aromas. So much fruit on them. I really should get in here and prune. Because if you prune regularly, it lets light and air in kind of to the interior where a ton of fruit is forming on my plants. So that was the lemon drop cherries, and then these are the big boys, the beef steaks. Yeah, I really got to get in here and prune. It's kind of ridiculous. I've already pruned once or twice. I think twice. It's just this hedge of tomato right here. And then we have the greens, the green row. So I've got alternating curly kale, which is beautiful. This plant is just beautiful, I think, even as a plant, but you get to eat it. And then alternating curly kale and chard, Swiss chard in here. I think I did do the rainbow. I think most of these are red though. They came up red. Delicious. Look at all that kale salad deliciousness I could make. Just really pretty. Yeah, this is kind of a nightmare mess on this side too. I gotta weed. Did you guys know that butternut squash grows on a trellis? Mine does. Yeah, this monster of a plant, you guys. I can't even explain to you how impressive this is. This is such a hefty squash. Oh my God. And it's solid. It's solid on the trellis. It's not going anywhere. But this plant was one seedling, and it's now taking over 2 trellises, and it's sending out runners, so I kind of made room for it right here. I harvested onions today, and oh my God. And then it's even going out the back here too. We've got a runner that runs pretty much the full length of the garden in back. I pulled it out. Yep, there it is. Oh my God, there's a squash. Didn't see that thing. Oh my gosh. So it goes all the way back along the back side of the garden, and it comes out a couple of trellises down. I think it's the second from the farthest trellis. Oh, yep, there it is. Oh my God. This thing is a beast. But a lot of flowers on it. Oh, and another one. So I've counted 3 or 4 squashes on it to date. So with a lot more flowers that I think recently kind of budded out. So I think we are good with butternut squash this season, or we will be. Let me just back up and show you kind of the wide shot of this thing. Couldn't be more pleased. Fall project, guys. I transplanted some tarragon into this corner. Got that from my mom. That's where the potatoes were. Harvested the potatoes, and then also harvested the Walla Walla onions. I had 2 rows right here of Walla Walla onions, and I sowed fennel, which is coming up nicely. And oh no. Okay, I'm gonna have to thin this out. I didn't realize 2 came up together. Well, that's great. More fennel, I guess, if that makes it. So we've got, I think, 6 or 7 plants for fennel, and then a couple of cabbages. Sad little cabbages. We don't have to talk about those. I think, actually, they're getting eaten by something. Yeah. Oh, bummer. But anyway, the fennel is doing pretty well. So this one, I think, takes 90 to 100 days to mature. I'll have to check on that, though. But it's really beautiful. I just kind of want to admire this. Will you sit here and admire the fennel leaves with me? They're so pretty. So here are the onions that I harvested today, the Walla Wallas. Some of them are a little bit small, but I think we got a really good crop of these. This is my first time growing Walla Walla onions. So I have a first batch kind of curing in that room, but I'm going to leave these ones out to kind of cure for 24 to 48 hours before I move them inside. And then they just kind of sit for a couple of weeks to cure and preserve. It's a good hefty little crop here of Walla Wallas. And then I also, these are the potatoes that I pulled out of the ground today. This was an experiment with a grocery store potato, and I made seed potatoes out of them and planted them and got a few potatoes. couple of misses. What I would definitely do differently is plant them deeper, or make sure that the tubers were fully underground, because you can't eat potatoes that form above the ground. They develop this really toxic compound in them. I think this was probably, like, this one was sitting kind of like how I'm holding it. So you see where the eyes are, those were up above the ground in the sunlight, and they developed that really toxic compound that makes them kind of inedible. But there are a few in here, like this one, that is probably completely edible because it was fully underground. I dug it out of the earth. Yeah, look at that one. They're just all really weird, weirdly shaped, and you can definitely see where, you know, the sunlight hit them. Yeah. So not bad. I mean, for an experiment, really not bad. I mean, I'm pleased. For 2 crops I've never grown before, that's pretty cool. So this is my smaller crop, you guys, or harvest, I guess. My Poblano Peppers. Delicious little beauties. I'm gonna make some chile rellenos, I think, with these. And then my jalapenos. I'm really glad that I got more than one plant this year. None of them have done really well, so fortunately I'm still getting somewhat of a crop just between the 4 of those plants. And then my okra. I picked the 2, did see some more buds forming, and we have those flowers on the plant, so definitely going to be eating some more okra later into the season here. So, my dear friends and fellow plant people, I am in pain. After I filmed, I decided I was going to go ahead and weed for a little bit and tackle the garden. It looks great, but I am in pain. So I have my medicine and I am just hanging out in my plant room, getting some comfort from my indoor plants, just enjoying the ambiance in here. See, it's very pretty in here. Very, very pretty epiphytes all up in this room. Cheers. I did get a lot done. I'm gonna have to really kind of focus on what next weekend's plan is gonna be for in the garden. I'd like to really at least get my flower bed that I've been planning all summer and not doing a thing about. I'm trying to get a flower bed started in our fenced in area. I'm going to do a pet safe flower bed. So I at least wanted to get that all kind of organized and the bare bones of it started this season. I'm not probably going to be able to plant anything until next season, next spring. But that was, you know, looking forward, that's going to be the goal for probably our last official quote-unquote summer weekend, or growing season weekend, I should say. This is a great angle, by the way. I just can't move. Can't move at all. May hurt. So thank you guys for coming along on this little update of my late season garden. And thank you for those of you who have kind of followed along as I started that and filmed it. This is my first season filming the process. Definitely things to kind of consider for next year. Spacing issues, what I want to grow, what I want to try growing better. Yeah, I learn every time. So I highly, highly encourage you, even if you have a small planter on a patio or on a balcony in your apartment, even if it's small scale, even if it's a couple of herbs in a pot, it's so rewarding to be able to grow something from the earth that you are able to consume and that you're able to feed yourself and your family with. It's something that I love doing, and I will advocate for vegetable gardening forever, ever and ever and ever. So thank you guys for watching, and until next time, enjoy your plants.